guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Gio and I read all these books for fun. So today I am going to be going over my February TBR list. Majority of them are going to revolve around Valentine's Day, love, things like that. Majority of the time I don't read books like this. I'm more into like thrillers, psychological thrillers, things like that. But this year it has been a goal of mine to kind of broaden my genres as far as reading. So I did try as best as I could with the books that I have now to kind of make it cohesive for the month of February. So for my first book that I will be reading for the month, it's going to be Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. I've read quite a bit of her books already, and I can definitely say that it's a very fun / easy read for me as far as her books go. So it sounded like a cutesy little like summary book. So that's going to be my first one. So the second book that I'll actually be reading is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've never read any of her work before. I've heard a lot of good things about her work. So that's going to be like my second read. And then right after that one, hopefully I like it, because right after that I will be reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I've heard such great things about this book. It is a popular TikTok book, so hopefully it lives up to the expectations that I have of it. I know that I don't really have a lot of friends that like to read, but my little sister does, and she told me like that was a really good book. So hopefully it lives up to the expectations that I have of it. So the fourth book that I will be reading is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. This one does fall into like the thriller category. I'm not really too sure what it's about, other than, you know, a couple that is struggling in their marriage with all these secrets. Never read anything from her before. I don't know of any other popular books from her other than The Perfect Marriage. So hopefully this one will live up to the expectations that I have for it, and, you know, still keep up with the genre that I'm going for as far as like romance books. So for my fifth book of my February TBR is going to be Tender is the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The only other book that I've read from him is The Great Gatsby, and I absolutely love that book. Me and my husband, we both share a love for that book. We even have like multiple copies of it in like different formats. So it'll be good to add more classic books into my reads for this year. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. And then for my sixth book, it's actually going to be Gerald's Game by Stephen King. I've read plenty of Stephen King books, as you can tell, and so I'm trying to get through a lot of those this year. Even though I made a pretty good dent, but nowhere near the amount of books that he's written. I know that this one takes place, I believe it's like a lake house. The couple tries to be all romantic, and he like ties her up to the bed. Somehow he dies and she's like stuck and tied up to that bed. Sounds very gory and creepy. Definitely up my alley. I have never really been disappointed from Stephen King, other than The Outsiders. I did not like that book, but majority of his books I do enjoy. Oh, and then I'm not sure if I even mentioned this. The majority of these books that I will be reading are on my Kindle. So they're all ebooks except for one. I will have one physical book on my TBR for this month. And then for my seventh book of the month, I will be reading Attached: The New Science of Adult Attachment and How I Can Help You Find and Keep Love. This is by Amir Levine and Rachel S.F. Heller. Typically, I try to read at least one nonfiction book a month. I feel like it's pretty beneficial to me when I read a nonfiction book and then I go into something a little bit heavier of like a fiction book, because the last book that I plan on reading, which is my only physical book for the month, is going to be, yes, The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is going to be a good book to read after I finish up that nonfiction book, because come February 28th, that is when A Day of Fallen Night comes out. So it's the prequel to this book. It takes place 1,000 years before, but technically I've heard from a lot of reviews that it's best to read this book first and then read A Day of a Fallen Night. So I will go ahead and be doing that. I also want to start getting everything ready so I can annotate this book. I've never annotated books before. Definitely getting out of my comfort zone with doing that. So I will, hopefully if I enjoy this book, I will be annotating it and then filming it as well. And then I will also go and pick up A Day of Fallen Night as soon as it gets released. That way, as soon as I'm done with this one, I believe if the book comes out February 28th, I know that sometimes my Barnes & Noble will have the new releases at least a day or two early. So if I finish this book, I will be going that day to picking it up. And then that'll be part of my February TBR slash beginning of March, depending on how long it takes me to actually read these books and if I can actually get through all of them. I know in January I was able to read 8 books for the month, but some of them were a little bit on the short side. Definitely nothing as heavy as this. And with February being a shorter month, I will see if I will actually be able to get through all of these. And if so, I will let y'all know what I thought of them, how everything went, if I was able to complete this. So that's going to be all the books that I have for the month of February. If y'all enjoy these, definitely give them a thumbs up. I will be doing a whole lot more of these and showing y'all everything that I read for the year. My goal for this year was actually to read 52 books, and I believe I'm reading on book 9, and it's only January 30th, so I might need to increase it more. I know that normally during the holidays it's a little bit busier for me since I'm taking more time off of work and I have less time to read. So we'll see about halfway through the year if I have to raise that up just a little bit. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.